In a past video, I defined religion as a quest towards a goal where certain methods are used to achieve that goal, and these methods are based on a Trojan assumption. Now, if you don't know what the Trojan assumption is, you can always go back to that video and see it in details. But in brief, a Trojan assumption is an unfalsifiable or a metaphysical assumption that connects what the religious person is doing towards the aim that they're trying to achieve. Now, I've made a few examples. I mentioned that the goal of Christianity is salvation, the goal of Buddhism is nirvana, but what about something like shamanism? What about a religion like Shintoism? Now, these are religions that are followed by millions of people, and yet they don't have a one goal, just like a Christian is trying to reach the kingdom of heaven or a Buddhist is trying to achieve nirvana. So, what is going on here? Obviously, they are religions. There's no doubt about that. But why do they diverge? The Trojan assumption is there. In case of shamanism, the Trojan assumption is that spirits exist, and if you are to evoke them or to approach them in the correct way, you can achieve results from the spirits. You can have them heal you, you can have prosperity, you can ensure a successful hunt. There are benefits that can be earned from properly approaching the spirits. So there is a Trojan assumption, and yet there is not a one goal. So why is it that the same Trojan assumption machinery sometimes functions towards a specific metaphysical goal, most likely after death, and in other cases the same machinery is utilized to obtain many goals in the life, in this lifetime? The ultimate goal of shamanism perhaps can be to navigate life successfully. That would probably sum up all the goals of shamanism. Healing, protection, prosperity, all of these things are just to ensure that you have a better life here, now, not after you die. It seems that there are two major domains of religion. On one hand, you have what I call the transcendent religions, religions like Christianity or like Islam, where all of life is a preparation for something that will probably happen in the afterlife, at the end of time. On the other hand, you have religions like shamanism. And shamanism is not about a transcendent goal. It's a modal religion made of modes where the same Trojan assumption, spirits, can be utilized towards a number of goals. And these goals, most importantly, happen to be mundane more often than not. They're about having a more successful life here. They're about obtaining a better hunt. They're about protecting yourself from diseases. So the same goals don't deal with the afterlife. The metaphysical aspect of religion is not the end goal, it's more the methods, because the methods involve spirits, of course. However, this classification is not very strict, and I will draw the attention towards one specific religion here, and this is Judaism. Now, obviously, religions change over time, and Judaism, as we know today, has not always been the same. Research shows that early forms of Judaism were largely modal. They were about a covenant between the people of Israel and Hashem, God. If they will worship Him, if they will offer sacrifices, if they will maintain purity, if they will maintain all of these things, in return, they will have protection, they will not be conquered, they will not be defeated. And that was originally the first forms of Judaism. But that's stage, you can even argue that it wasn't Judaism properly. It was still an ancient form of Israelite religion, because there was a form of pantheon of gods. It wasn't even monotheistic yet. But this is besides the point. I'm trying to stress here about the goal of the religion. But in all cases, soon things have changed, and the Jews were conquered. Uh, they were driven to exile. They were faced with the problem of evil. And this has changed their temperament, should I say, in a specific way. And Judaism, initially a modal religion, started to grow transcendent levels. Uh, Today, Jews believe in all sorts of life after death. They believe in the Olam Haba, the world to come. Uh, those who are deeply influenced by the Kabbalah even believe in reincarnation. They call the Gilgul Hana Shamot, the cycle that, or the wheel that takes spirits back into the earth to be born one more time. So you have a religion that under pressure has changed from a modal starting point towards a transcendent religion. And yet again, history is often quite messy. It's not very straightforward the way I show it, because it can be argued that Judaism itself has reverted at certain points back towards a more modal form, um, especially after a lot of messianic disasters, possibly the case of Shabbatai Tzvi, the self-proclaimed Messiah. Um, so you had the Talmud preach that it's best not to speculate about what happens before birth, about what will happen after the world will end. Try to avoid these things. Focus on the here, focus on the now. So here you have a religion that oscillates between a modal form and the transcendent form. And the oscillation from the world itself goes both ways. You have it starting from a modal point, you have it moving towards a more transcendent form, and then at certain points under pressure moving back again, at least partially, towards a modal form. Um, but it's not definitive. And there are even elements of Judaism that are so transcendent. They don't even deal with one's fate after death, the way Christianity or Islam do, but they actually deal with repairing the world itself. That's one of the major goals of Kabbalah, that they call the tikkun olam, the reparation of the world, when you're repairing the world itself. The world itself has been thrown out of harmony, that the tree of life, the Kabbalistic tree of life, is not the way it should be, and it should be repaired. The world itself should be repaired. And that would allow the advent of the Messiah, and it would fix things up. So that's the reparation. And how do you repair the world? You repair the world simply by following the mitzvot, the commandments. If you follow the commandments of the Torah, then the world will start to be repaired. It's not about you following the commandments so that you could go to heaven rather than hell after you die. It's about you actually repairing the world itself. That's probably one of the most extreme forms of transcendent religion. You're not ensuring a successful hunt. You're not simply making sure that you will live and your business will succeed. You're not even thinking about your individual fate after you die. You're thinking about repairing the world altogether. Another example of this form of religiosity is another extinct religion that I've discussed before here on the channel, and that's, of course, is Manichaeism. If you want to know more about that, you can go back to the past episode where I discussed Manichaeism. But Manichaeans also had a certain diet and certain prayers in order to redeem the world, in order to extract the light out of the darkness and return it back to the spiritual world. So that's just a clarification. It means that the definition that I gave in that episode was mostly for transcendent religions. However, the definition can be tweaked slightly in order to accommodate also modal religions. You can say that religion is a number of practices that are based on Trojan assumptions and that are aimed towards one or more goals. Of course, I say one or more to accommodate both transcendent religions and modal religions. And with this, I come to the end of this episode. This is Fadi Riyad from the Other and the Shadow YouTube channel, and I will see you next time.